there, beautiful people of YouTube. Welcome to the End of Tales. If this is the first time you end up here, nice to meet you, welcome. My name is Arianna and I'm half of this channel. The other half is my beloved partner Daniele, who is doing right now engineering stuff for his work. I don't know, don't even ask. He won't join us today, but he had me preparing this video for you. The channel is basically brand new. We have 4 or 5 videos on so far, few but good, I promise. So if you'd like, go check them out and then tell us in the comments what you think about them. I appreciate. And this is our first video about gear. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a video editor, so I think it's time. I know I might upset someone saying this, so I will say it straight away. In my opinion, the content is always more important than gear. Okay, I said it, you're upset, but don't leave so soon. Because I do also know that we need reliable gear, reliable devices like cameras, lenses, mics, lights and so on to take great photos and videos and in the end tell our stories. Today I want to talk with you about these little devices. Memory cards. We are always so pumped by cameras and lenses and it's absolutely fine, absolutely right, I am too. But without these little ones, there would be no images to edit, right? Today, we have a lot of kinds of memory cards for even more kinds of cameras. We have SD cards, micro SD, compact flash, CF Express, CFast, and the list goes on. But the ones more common around are still SD cards, and they look like a total mystery. Look how many numbers and letters there are on their cover. It's insane. For a beginner, this is a complete mystery. Apart from the storage capacity, the only 2 things we want to know are how fast it writes and how fast it reads, nothing more. Instead, we have to deal with this. So, let's dive in. I am a GH5 user and I have always used Lexar Professional SD cards. I have a bunch of them. They have been working very well so far. I'm gonna use one of them as example today. The first piece of information we got on this card is the storage capacity up on the left side. This is a 64 GB SD card. Just so you know, 1 byte is composed of 8 bits. So saying 8 megabits is like saying 1 megabyte. The choice of the memory capacity really depends on the device you're using and on how much you're planning to shoot at once. Going on the right side, we find the rated speed. It's a number expressed in megabytes per second. And then below it, we find a number followed by an X. This is really just a marketing number. It just says that these SD cards, it's a lot faster than a CD-ROM. And it's so silly saying that in 2021. In fact, the X stands for 150 kilobit per second, which is the CD-ROM read speed. In conclusion, the rated speed is the maximum read speed of the card. The read speed is a useful information for photographers, for example, who are looking for a camera with no buffering issues in burst mode. Going on, again on the left side, below the memory capacity, we find the acronym that indicates the type of SD card we are looking at. This one is a SDXC. SD stands for secure digital. SD cards are the oldest and they could hold up to 2 gigabytes. Then there are the SDHC. HC stands for high capacity, and this type of card can hold up to 32 gigabytes of data. And then the latest are these SDXC. XC stands for extended capacity, and this type of card can hold up to 2 terabytes. Nowadays, the SDXC cards are one of the most used type of memory cards to record videos with. On the market, you can also find the SDUC cards. UC means ultra capacity, and they have a memory storage up to 128 terabytes. Based on my personal experience, they are not so used on cameras with no extreme needs. For cameras like the GH5 or similar, I personally wouldn't recommend to buy SD cards with memory capacities larger than 128 gigabytes. I will explain why later. Then, moving on the right side, we find the video speed class. You can see the letter V followed by a number. This number could be 6, 10, 30, 60 or 90. V90 is the maximum video speed you can find right now on the market. 6, 10, 30, 60, 90 stand for megabyte per second. Right below the video speed class, there is a Roman numeral. This number indicates the bus interface of the SD cards. If the SD card has on it the Roman numeral 1, then on the back you will find just one row of pins, and the bus speed of the card will be 104 megabytes per second. Roman numeral 2, then 2 rows of pins on the back, and the bus speed of the card will be 312 megabytes per second. On some of the latest SD cards, you could even find the Roman numeral 3, but these cards can still have 2 rows of pins. 3 rows of pins will be on the future of SD cards, the SD Express, allowing to transfer almost 4 GB of data per second. I don't even know if they are already on the market. The ones with 2 rows of pins probably, but for now they will be a lot useful just for the niche of 8K recording and high quality 360 videos. Anyway, think of the bus interface and the rows of pins as the number of lanes on a freeway. More lanes, more cars carrying data that can go fast at the same time. Then moving on, we find the UHS Speed Class and just below it, the Speed Class. UHS stands for Ultra High Speed, and it is represented by the letter U with a number in it. The number can be 1 or 3. The speed class instead is represented by a C with a number enclosed in it. The number can be 2, 4, 6 or 10. All these numbers in the V speed, in the UHS speed and in the speed class all refers to megabytes per second. Video speed class 6, then 6 megabytes per second. Video speed class 10, 10 megabytes per second, and so on. Speed class 2, 2 megabytes per second. 4, 4 megabytes per second, and so on. UHS speed class 1, 10 megabytes per second, and UHS speed class 3, 30 megabytes per second. But all these letters and numbers, what do they represent? Video speed, UHS speed, speed class, they are all various ways to express the minimum sustained write speed of the card. So finally, we are getting the writing information we were looking for, and this is the most relevant information for video. But look, the minimum sustained write speed, it is not the actual write speed. It is the minimum write speed sustained by the SD card. Just to give you an example, the minimum write speed requested by the GH5 to record in 4K 422 10-bit 25 frames per second is 150 megabits per second. So these cards are more than enough. One last thing about speed class. The UHS speed, the bus interface, and the device you're using are related. If your device doesn't have this second row of pins, your card will be automatically revert to UHS 1 and bus interface 1. So you won't be able to use the complete speed class of the SD card. And that's it. Not so hard to understand when you know what these letters and numbers mean. Still, less numbers and letters would have made things easier. Most of the times, SD cards are sold by themselves, but with Lexar, I found this cool combo, SD plus card reader. I don't know if other brands do it. It's a fast way for transferring data from the SD to your PC. If you can buy one of these while you're buying your SD card, you can always look for something like this later. This is a multi-card reader by Integral. I really don't know the brand. I bought it here in Oxford for a few pounds. If you don't want to bring with you a lot of card reader for different type of cards, this is a really good compact solution. The only downside, which is pretty obvious, is that you can just read one card at a time. The connector is one, so one cable, one USB, there is no other way. For my Mavic Air and my Osmo Action instead, I use the Micro SD Extreme Pro by SanDisk. I never had a problem with these cards too. As you can see, the information we can find on this card are pretty much the same as the one on the Lexar Professional's SD cards. The Micro SD can be sold by its own or with this adapter, so you're able to convert straight away the micro SD into a SD card type. It's used for drones, for action cams, in Android phones to expand the internal storage of the phone. There is no speed class indication, but we have a new piece of information. Guess what? A new letter and a new number. Is this A with 1 or 2? This is the application performance class. It makes sense if this micro SD is on a phone and the phone is requesting from the app a lot of random information, but for cameras is completely useless. I have a micro SD with A1 on it, and I have a micro SD with A2 on it, both by SanDisk. I use the A1 with the Mavic Air because I bought them together. Then I bought the Osmo Action and the micro SD by SanDisk with A2 was on the market, so since it was the newest micro SD, I bought that. But in my opinion, there is absolutely no quality difference between the Mavic Air footage and the Osmo Action footage. Not all the cameras are compatible with these high-speed class ratings, so before buying any card, check your manual, look up online and find which one is compatible with your camera. Otherwise, you could end up spending more money for a memory device that you don't actually need. The price of the Lexar Professional SD cards is around the range of 50 to 200 euros. So if you're planning to buy multiple cards to record with, be sure that they are compatible with your camera before clicking pay. As I said, I wouldn't buy SD cards with more than 64 or 128 gigabytes of memory capacity. I'd rather backup files more often or use several cards to record than be worried about losing a consistent part of footage. Because sometimes technology can fail us. And finally, be careful on how you handle your SD cards. This thin plastic line in the middle of the pins is really, really fragile. It comes apart easily, and if you're not aware of it, it could bend while inserting it in the card slot and eventually break. I broke one of mine SD cards without even noticing it. It still works, I still use it without any problem, but you never know, I won't recommend it. If you have a SD card case like this one, like mine, remember to pick the cards from the plastic bottom and not from the head, otherwise you risk to damage the pins. That's all for today, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video, we appreciate it. Give us a like, let us know in the comments below if you have any more doubts about SD cards, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope I share with you some useful information in this English grey day, and we will see you in the next video. Ciao! Preparing. Non è difficile. The channel is basically... I'm a GH5 user and I've always... 1 byte is composed of 8 bits, però se ci penso mezz'ora. This one is a SD card. I hope I show... Ciao! Com'è che diciamo ciao?